could happen now.
And we have a winner. The first overall pick in the 2015 NHL draft belongs to the Edmonton Oilers.
McDavid, puck almost got away from him, and he scored! Oh, wow!
Welcome once again to the Oilers Rig Radio. Daniel, we're back in the garage. How you doing?
Good, good. Excited for the season to start.
Wednesday.
Preseason's in the rearview mirror.
You watch the game last night?
Yeah, I did.
But before you get to that, how you been?
Good, yeah. Good, just, life with kids, chasing toddlers around.
No, it's lots of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I actually took my kids rock climbing today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just over here in the West End, that 178th Street.
Yeah.
And Jonah, and 4 years old, saw that they have those automatic ropes, right? So you don't have to have somebody spotting you or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a bungee cord. And once he figured that out, he was totally dead set against doing this, but then he saw that. Then he'd get 12, 15 feet up, just let go, and he's just like, I'm Spider-Man! So that was my Sunday. I never rock climbed before. I am sore. I have some.
Yeah, that's a good workout, eh?
Yeah. So last night was the last preseason game.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, before we get to Wednesday night and the season opener, we got to do the quiz.
All right.
Okay? I believe it was, and I forgot my notes, but I'm pretty sure it was in February of 2007. Sam Gagner scored his first shootout goal against Minnesota on that sick dangle that he got known for in the shootout.
Yeah. The one that he scored on one time.
Yeah, no, it was more than once, but but they definitely knew what was coming after a while.
Yeah.
But goalie he scored against for Minnesota.
Backstrom?
No.
Oh.
Was it 0-for-7?
Yeah.
It was Josh Harding.
Josh Harding.
Now, interestingly enough, in 2013, and I don't remember what month it was. This is a bonus question, so you can make up an extra point. It doesn't count against your loss record, but it can put you in the win column. Okay. It was in 2013. Sam Gagner scored on a very, very, very similar move on this Arizona Coyotes goaltender. Name the goaltender.
Mike Smith?
Bingo. So you're what?
Yeah!
Finally getting on the board. 1-for-7. You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe we go on a streak here.
Yeah.
And the reason why I mentioned Mike Smith, because of course he will likely be in goal for the Flames on Wednesday night when the Oilers kick off the season.
Yeah,
do you like how I tie that all together?
I do, but he's going to get lit up. But anyway.
You didn't even let me, I'm trying to give myself some props here for tying that.
That was very good.
That was a good segue, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We figure he's going to get lit up?
Well, 82-0. That's where we're going to start.
Well, weren't you saying you were looking on Twitter and it sounds like the Flames are going to sign Yager?
Well, yeah. Well, it sounds like they're talking anyway.
I thought he was going to St. Louis because Fabry got hurt. But
Who knows? He could play somewhere. I'm also kind of surprised that Iginla hasn't been... Somebody hasn't thrown something at Iginla.
Well, wouldn't you think that if Calgary's talking to Iginla...
Yager,
shouldn't they be talking to... wouldn't you think that that's the guy they'd be talking to? Because, you're talking about an aging superstar who, best case scenario gets you 15 goals, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of shocking in a way.
Well, yeah, I don't know. From what I understand, Iginla may have left Calgary on maybe not the best terms with Ken King. I don't know.
Really?
Well, that's I've had a few people mention that to me, and now, I mean, again, I don't know how much truth there is into that, but it does seem a little bit odd that, you know.
Well, if you're going to go after a 45-year-old, why wouldn't you go after a 40-year-old?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of my thinking too. I mean, I think Ginla had well, I don't even know. I'd have to look up the statistics, but I think their years last year could be comparable.
Well, I think once Ginla got to LA, because it was a short stint, but he actually looked pretty decent, right?
Yeah.
But no, like I said, you know, if you're looking at 40-year-old guys, you know, one's 45 and one's 40. Best case scenario.
Yeah.
You're looking at 15 goals. So because they're both right wingers, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. But more importantly, back to the Oilers.
Yes.
So let's get to some of the hot topics. Jesse Puljujärvi sent down today, so Yamamoto won that battle for now, I suppose. I mean, I still don't think he's going to get past the 9 games. But what do you think about that?
Well, I think they got. Yeah, I mean, Puljujärvi's. He's 19 years old. Like, you know, by no means is he a bust yet. He's going down there. Yamamoto, I think they're going to give him a couple of games to see what he can do against the big guys and the big teams and the tighter checking, but I don't suspect he'll stay. I think he'll end up back down.
Well, yeah, but
I think they've got some injuries right now. Like Slepyshev is still, you know, kind of on the. I think they're not penciling him in yet. Yeah, like there's other guys that can fill that spot that probably will do just as good as Yamamoto would in this year, or even Puljujärvi for that matter.
Well, one thing now I have to preface this because people are so friggin' reactive these days. You have to preface everything and qualify everything. But watching the game last night, I mean, that Yamamoto was not a factor.
No.
I think I might have saw one nice sequence or that, but I mean, for the most part, he wasn't a factor.
He had that one opportunity, I think,
I noticed Puljujärvi more. I'm not suggesting that's.
Oh, he had a surefire goal. If Kara would have just passed the puck.
But, you know, they're both young kids, and I read an interesting comment, and this is back to what I was going to say. And I have to preface this by saying I'm not comparing the two as players, and I do think Yamamoto's a player. I think he will be
For sure.
a pro. I just don't think it's yet. I don't think that the strength's there.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a comment on an article on Oilers Nation, and I don't recall the guy's name. I probably should have jotted it down, or his handle or whatever. But he brought up the name Vladimir Tchatchev from, what was that, 3 years ago?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
And this commenter nor I are comparing the two as players. I think it's Yamamoto he's shown enough to me where I can go, yeah, he can be, you know, one of those smaller players. But, you know, when there was the whole Vladdy hockey thing and him and Yakimov look decent together in the line, and the Oilers tried to sign him because he looked really good in preseason.
Yeah.
I don't think to the extent Yamamoto has, but he looked good enough that people are going, wow, who is this kid?
Yeah.
But when you're that small, it's tough. And the one differentiator for me is Yamamoto he's clearly been playing the North American game. He's grittier.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say a little grittier. I mean, he's considerably grittier than Chad.
Sure.
Right?
He gets in there.
But it was an interesting comparison. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Yamamoto's a step above. Like, the Oilers were only going to sign him to a two-way deal, right? An entry contract. He didn't make the team. I mean, Yamamoto, it looks like, will be on the opening night roster.
Well, I think he earned it through camp, and
sure, he played well. He played well, and he's going to get a little bit of extra audition time.
Well, he would have to go on a tear for them to keep him past 9 games.
Yeah, he'd have to go on a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins type tear where he gets a hat trick within those first 9 games.
Yeah.
Right, scores in his first game, and yeah.
And I don't mind the decision to send Puljujarvi back. That guy's going to be an NHL player
For sure.
He's got the body for it. He's got the physical tool. Like, I mean, he's
Well, and he can play. Like, he didn't have a bad preseason either.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference with him and Yamamoto is they can park Puljujarvi and bring him back and forth. With Yamamoto, they can't send him to the AHL, and if they send him to junior, he's gone. He's for the year. He's done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he's getting a little bit. He earned it, right? If he was, I think that if it was next year and he's an AHLer going into the AHL, is it next year? Maybe it's the year after that even. Yeah, he's going to the AHL, right? But
now and I'm not drinking any Kool-Aid here. This is just a hypothetical. But let's say Yamamoto looks like he'll probably start the season beside McDavid, or he's going to get some time there, one or the other, right? Let's say that going into game number 8, he's got 4 goals, 2 assists. What do they do?
well, they can still send him to junior, kind of like what they did to Draisaitl, right? But if he goes past his 9, he
No,
burns.
I know that's what I'm saying. Going into game 8, game 9,
Yeah,
he's looking really good. He's already sniped the 4 goals.
yeah.
The chemistry with McDavid's looking good. That's what I'm asking. What do you? Because you can. But once he's in junior for the year, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Well, I think you got to keep taking him. Like, if he's producing like that, like, if he's almost at a point a game, which that's, better than 70% of the team last year.
But it's on such a small chunk of the season, and this is why it's really good for fans of the team that I'm not a GM. Because I'd have, I don't know, I'd probably turn to Mac T and say, you make the decision. You're still under contract, right? Right? Yeah. We're paying you, but we don't.
Yeah, I think you can keep him because you still have options, right? You still have an option there to, like what they did with Draisaitl. They just sent him back to junior after.
No, but I get that, but Draisaitl was an easy one because he hadn't performed. Puljujarvi was easy because he hadn't performed.
But he did perform in the first 10 or 12. That's how he made it. That's how he made the team and made it past the 9 games because he was performing. He was doing quite well.
We'd have to look that up. He did not statistically that first year. He did not have a good.
Well, he ended up playing 30-some games. Right,
and then they sent him down.
But the first chunk.
But that whole thing is the reason why for me it's like, all right, so you got this kid. He's got. Let's even dial it back. Let's say he's got 5 points and 3 goals. Right, still he's looked good. But you already saw how in the cap world you've already burnt out 1 year Draisaitl's contract.
Yeah.
For nothing, right? Aren't you a little bit more reticent to pull the trigger this time? Because, a guy has a really good 7 or 8, 9 game stretch.
Yeah.
But we all know the next 20, it could be 2 points.
Yeah, well, the Oilers,
especially for a 5'8", 18-year-old who's a.
Yeah, I think at the time now, and if we can look up the statistics about Draisaitl, but I'm almost certain that in the first 10 games, he was almost a point a game player in his first 10 games in the NHL.
Not a chance. Not a chance. But anyway.
Well, I don't think you're hearing what I have to say. He played 30-some games.
No,
and he started really well and tanked.
Yeah, but I don't think it was near a point a game. Well, look, it doesn't matter. Finish.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, okay. Well,
but at the end of the day, right? There's
Do they know you're actually looking it up because they just heard the chime?
Yeah. But the
and they're probably thinking, why wouldn't you have that fired up already? Well,
there's a difference. There's a big difference between the Oilers and their situation today, and the Oilers and their situation in Leon Draisaitl's first year. Dallas Eakins was our head coach.
Smartest guy in the room.
Okay, so there's a big difference there.
Yeah, but I don't think that takes away from what I said, because based on that experience in a season when you had nobody, right? Are you willing to take that same risk now? When you have guys that can replace him at this level, where you didn't back then.
What the hell? I'm spelling his name wrong? How do you spell Leon? I'll just do Draisaitl.
I'm not editing this out, eh?
Yeah, fuck you.
I might edit that out. There you go, Hockey DB.
Yeah. I want to see a breakdown, though, of his games.
No, we're going to have to go to one. Yeah, he played 32 games and had 9 points. So he didn't have 9 points in 9 games.
But I'm almost certain those 9 points were in like the first 10 games.
Yeah, but wasn't it like 2 goals? No, you're out of your mind.
Hey man, he was,
No, because I remember like after he was here and got sent to down to Kelowna, people were already pull-yarbying. They're already like, he's a bust, he's another yak, blah 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 blah, right?
Okay, you might be right. But, okay. Anyway, regardless, I stand by my original, like, my statement of the fact that it's different now. First of all, the GM's different. He's not an idiot. So that's one, right? The coach is different. He's not an idiot either. So, like, they're in a different contract situation. They've got McDavid coming next year. They've got, they're in a position where they need to probably extend out some talent like him that can play with these guys, can skate with these guys, so they don't have to pay him very much in the next few years, right? So I highly doubt, like, even if I think if he's like a point-a-game player or close, they have no choice. They have to keep him.
Not if it's 9 assists.
What's that?
Not if it's 9 assists.
Well, I think a point a game is a point a game.
No, look up Ray Whitney while you're in Hockey DB. Look up Ray Whitney. He played 12 games for the Oilers, and I think he had like 12 points, but they were all assists. Then he went down to Florida and turned himself into a 30-goal scorer.
Yeah, but they don't.
What the hell are we talking? We're way off. Look up the Edmonton Oilers. Oh no, never mind. I was way off.
Oh, so we can both be wrong on this. But when he played for the Oilers, he played 9 games and had a goal and 3 assists.
Yeah, and then I just think it's just funny that the next it's 32
the
goals.
same year, he goes to Florida and plays 68 games and has 61 points.
How tall was he? Because that's in the 90s, right? Like that's when
5'10".
Okay, but he's more of a Yamamoto-sized guy, but man, you never know with those measurements though, right?
Yeah, 180. Anyway, my point is that it's a different situation altogether. I'd be shocked. He's going to have to be a point-a-game guy for them to keep him past 9. And I think 9 assists will get the job done.
I think he's got to snipe at least 2 goals. It does. I mean, there's no way he's staying back. Like this is all.
Yeah. I don't think he is either because the contract situation of the Oilers dictates
they have to send him.
That they have to because they need him to have more years of eligibility on his entry level deal and those low paying years than if he goes comes here and scores 30 goals and now we got to pay the guy $6.5 million. Like that's not going to work, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, we need you to score, but don't get carried away.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like, we're already up 3-1. We're good.
I think he's here because he's earned it. He's come and had a good camp.
Could you see Chiarelli at some point, because of the cap situation, having a sniper rifle up in the press box and like empty net goal, the puck all of a sudden just zings? He's got a silencer on.
Yeah. Keep that puck out of the net.
We need to shoot. You could have 19 goals is fine. You can't hit 20.
Yeah. Anyway.
So
I'm fully in support of Puljujarvi being sent down to the minors. I think he could use a.
Do you think he's back game 10? Do you think when they send Yamamoto down?
I mean, barring any injury issues, but it sounds like Shlepyshev is coming back pretty quick. I mean, you got guys that are gonna probably do just as well as he will here.
Well, Shlepyshev looked real good in the playoffs.
Like Iriyo Pakarinen can come fill in a spot, right, in a fourth line spot. I mean, where are you going to play Puljujarvi, right? You want him getting top 6 minutes, so go play top 6 in the AHL. See if he can dominate a little bit.
This actually brings me to my next point, because this is assuming that Draisaitl's not on the right side.
Yeah.
And he was there last night. Now, the smart money it's just because obviously they're going to use him there at different points when they need goals. That's all been said before.
Yeah.
But what if when they start to see, it's not going so well, so he moves up to the right wing, and now Strom's a full-time center, which my next point is, where do you like Draisaitl? Do you want to see him driving his own line, or do you care?
No, I don't care. I think they've got a really good situation there that they can roll them both out in separate lines and try and stretch out the defense a little bit, try and tire them out. And then late in the game put them together when the defense is kind of tired out a little bit more. Power play time, they're going to get their minutes together for sure, but it's a Todd McClellan built team where there's centers all over the place, and he's got options.
Well, this brings me to my next question. What do you make of... Now, this isn't just fans of other teams that say it's to chirp Oilers fans, but even some Oilers fans who are mad about this trade or that trade or this or that or whatever. Because, you want to find somebody pissed off about something, just... got all the colors of the rainbow.
Go to the internet, man. Yeah.
But the people that make the argument that Draisaitl is only a product of playing with Hall and then playing with McDavid.
No, I don't think so. He didn't play with either of those guys on Team Europe.
No, he didn't, and he didn't play with either of them for the most part of the playoffs.
And he had a strong World Cup. Helped that team get to the final.
I don't think that Draisaitl gets the respect from Oilers fans or the broader NHL base. It seems to be like he's looked on. Well, yeah, you put those numbers up, but come on, Yeri. Would you really got 72 goals without Wayne? Like that type of argument. I'm not suggesting Curry was not a talent by himself, but it's just that kind of argument.
Well, sure, but I mean, I think their comparison would be more like, and again, I might get raked over the coals for even making a comparison, but if you're going to compare them to like that situation or relationship to the Oilers of the 80s, I think it's more like Gretzky and Messier.
Sure.
Right?
Totally.
Like where these are probably, they were two of probably the 5 best players in the league at the time. And this is just the early years still.
Well, I think as far as
we're talking 82.
But I think
right?
if we were talking about this sort of like 86, 87, 88, that sort of stretch. Yeah. The Oilers had 2 of the best 3 centers in the game on their team.
Sure.
I think the center ice at that time would have went Gretzky, Lemieux, Messier.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think it's more like that than Curry. I think Maroon maybe is kind of like a Curry. You know what I mean? Like Maroon's more of a product of McDavid, I think, than I mean, and we have to give Maroon his own credit. He went from being out of shape to in shape.
I never like it when people hack on a guy like Maroon, saying, "Well, look, you've only ever, your career high in Anaheim was it 12 goals, something like that."
Yeah.
Now it's just because you're playing with McDavid, which isn't untrue, but what that argument really lacks to recognize is that athlete put themselves in the position to play with McDavid.
And that's what I was trying to get at there, is that, the Oilers made a trade for him when he was kind of out of shape, and he came here and he played a little bit with McDavid, and he scored a few goals, but I think he realized that, well, wait a minute, like if I play with this guy, if they put me on this guy's line, I can do really well. I can sign a big contract. Mm-hmm. And last year he came to camp like down 20 pounds. He was faster. He was in better shape, and he had a great year. He scored almost 30 goals. Or did he score 30 goals?
No, but it was, yeah.
So he deserves all the credit for being put where he's put.
And producing.
Right. But he's being put in a position where he's going to produce. Like, look at Ryan Strome, for instance. Mm-hmm. Okay? Here's a guy that first day of camp was sitting right next door to McDavid. He was put on McDavid's line. I don't think he's been there since game 1. Because he didn't produce.
We got that one goal, but it was kind of like one of those follow the bouncing puck. I want to get to Strome in a minute, so
yeah, okay.
I want to talk about him specifically, but
yeah, I think McDavid and Draisaitl are going to get their minutes together, but he has such a unique situation where, if he's got a good defense, like I think on Wednesday you see him rolling out McDavid on a line, Draisaitl centering a line, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins centering a line, and they're going to have 3 fairly strong offensive lines, mm-hmm. because you got a defensive team like Calgary who's got a solid back end, and what he's going to do with that, I think he's going to try and punch them out. He's going to try and wear them down, and he's going to have last change, and when they roll out that third pairing, he's going to pop McDavid and Draisaitl out there together, and Bob's your uncle, right? Like I think it's almost like a boxing match with him that he has now. He has these options to change it up, right? He can go southpaw, or he can go like it's. I think
I don't see any negatives to being able to move Draisaitl around like that, and that even makes him that much more of a special player, that he can. Okay, I'm going to run my own line. Oh no, you're right wing, and I think that whole nonsense about. I don't think that he played with McDavid as much as people think, and I know a few of the commentators on the radio have mentioned it. When you look at their minutes together and apart, like that whole argument kind of goes away. And let's face it, like Hall was okay in New Jersey last year, but he didn't light the world on fire. He got 20 goals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, he was hurt too for
but I mean, he
15, 20 games or something, but yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't even that many.
Oh,
I just looked at the other night for my fantasy draft or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting Hall's a bad player, but I don't think that argument holds a lot of water when you really scratch the surface.
No, if he went to Vegas or something like that, like he would be
first line for sure.
Their best player, their best center, immediately.
Yeah.
Right? Like even if he played on Vancouver, he'd be their best player. If he played on Colorado, he'd probably be their best player. And they've got a couple of good players, mm-hmm. right? So,
you think he's better than McKinnon?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
McKinnon's got some sick mitts though. That goal he scored in
that North America, that was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and deking out one of the best goalies in the world too, just making him look silly, right?
Yeah, like
basically falling on his face. It was awesome.
But we mentioned him a few minutes ago, and I want to talk about him because obviously a real controversial figure from the summer. Best way to put it, Ryan Strome. What do you? I mean, I haven't thought. I didn't think. I can't say that I think he's looked bad or good because I really haven't noticed him.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched enough of the. And last night I didn't really notice him at all.
Well, I probably watched, just over half of their preseason games.
Yeah.
And last night was pretty much, I didn't really notice him. In a bad way or a good way, I just didn't really notice him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he struggled. He struggled last year. Looks like he only had 13 goals. After his rookie season was 17.
Well, it was just a sophomore.
Yeah. Well, he that was it. Last year was his third year. It looks like.
No, you look above that one. That line, one more up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one of the questions that I always have for these people that are really upset about the trade, because it's all about this is a cap trade. This is what it was.
Sure. Yeah.
17 goals, 50 points last in 2013-14, his sophomore season. If he were to equal that total, right?
Yeah.
3 less goals than Jordan Eberle had last year.
Yeah.
And let's say Jordan Eberle gets 25 on the island, or Brooklyn, or wherever they're playing out of this week. Can you really look? I mean, can you really, as a fan, go, okay, we saved $4 million, with all these contract kicking? Can you look at the trade as a failure? I don't know.
No.
Has he shown me anything so far that I think he's going to get 17 goals? Not really, but I'm just saying. What do you think?
Yeah. If he gets 17 goals, I'd be happy. I'd say we got what we needed. We shed a bunch of the salary. The Oilers shed a bunch of the salary that they needed to shed for next year, and he almost produced the same as the guy before. So I'd be really happy with 17 goals. Heck, I'd be happy with anything over 15, I think.
So your level is at 15 goals.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I mean, I don't expect him to be as good as Eberle was a number of years ago.
Yeah. No.
But I don't think Eberle's that good, is that same player anymore.
Yeah.
Now here's another question for you. On the Cult of Hockey blog, the Edmonton Journal, David Stables wrote a piece sometime middle to late last week. And he was talking about the Oilers' defense being in trouble until Sekera's gone. What about the depth, et cetera, et cetera? Are you worried going into Wednesday night?
No. I think the offensive side of things is good, above average probably, and the 7 guys that it looks like, I mean, they ditched Mark Fane. He's
again
either on waivers or playing in the AHL again. Mm-hmm. But I like the addition of a V2. I don't know that he's constantly a top 6 guy, but he can move the puck a little. And I mean, you got a V2 if Benning can continue playing like he did. Greiba's a bubble guy that's in and out of the lineup. Clefbaum Larson, that's a no-brainer. Nurse has to take a step forward. Chris Russell had a pretty good preseason, I thought. You're going to get the same thing out of him that you did before. And with Sekera being...
Well, we count block shots in my fantasy draft.
Did you pick him?
Yeah.
Yeah, good move. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I'm not worried. I mean, our top pair, I think, is comparable with most top pairs in the league, minus, a couple of those teams that just have those really standout defensemen. The second pair right now of probably Benning and Russell, right? And then Nurse and either a V2 or Greiba. That's not a horrible start to the year, and when you get Sekera back, that just makes it all that much better. So, sounded like Sekera's coming along nicely. I thought I heard that he's not using a boot anymore or anything like that. So
You were to lose, Clefbaum, that puts a lot of pressure on.
yeah.
You could see the dominoes starting to tick, but
Sure.
there's not a lot of depth there.
But any team's on the bubble like that,
Yeah.
right? Like every team in the league's like that. You lose one of your top 6 defensemen, and everybody's kind of going, So
Well, it's like if Nashville lost Rene or Subban,
sure,
right?
yeah,
It's or especially in Nashville, they lost. I think they got Forsberg and Johansson.
yeah,
Either two of those guys go down,
sure,
they're hooped.
you bet.
So you're right. You can't be terribly. I'll be happy when Sekera gets back,
Yeah.
but I'm not that worried about it.
Yeah.
I think Larson's game is just going to continue to grow. Clefbaum's game. If they're the top pair and they're playing near 25 minutes a night kind of thing.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think I'm happy with the way things look now. Yamamoto's there. That's going to be we talked about him, but
Well, why don't we talk about this? You just mentioned Yamamoto, and we're talking about the defense, but some of the new players, just thoughts on like guys like Jokinen or pick one, Yamamoto.
yeah. Well, I like Jokinen. I mean, he's going to bring a veteran presence. I think he's almost immediately the oldest player on the team.
He's an old man, 36.
Yeah, he is the oldest guy on the team, so he brings a bit of
he's old enough. He's getting up to pee.
getting up to pee. I love that. I haven't reached that yet. I'll be 39 here in about 20 days.
Oh, you're not getting up? Oh, it sucks, man.
Yeah, and I don't get up to pee yet, which is nice.
Twice.
But I gotta go really bad.
And the thing is, now that I'm getting, so I'll be 41 here in a week, but
yeah,
I know what time. I'm going to wake up at 2:30 and at 5.
I can't wait. Yeah, that's great. But anyway, I like the addition of him. I think he's going to do really well on the penalty kill, which seems like there's going to be a lot of. So they need a few more guys. I think they need a few more guys who are going to be able to play there. Mm-hmm. I like that addition for sure.
I like that Kyra.
Jujar Kyra.
Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah, I like him too. He's big. I think he's earned it. He's put in his time, and he's going to come out and be a third and fourth line guy. He might kill some penalties, but he's big, right? I like that. Who else is new?
We talked about Strome.
Yeah, we talked about Strome. Yamamoto. I don't think he's going to be here wrong.
Pat Ryan, do you think he sticks around for the year?
Well, I think he's going to be one of those guys that keeps going back and forth, but I think he's got to clear waivers. And with teams like the wild card is that you've got an expansion team that really doesn't have a very good team.
Lots of defensemen, though.
Right? Yeah, they got lots of defensemen, but they don't really have a good team. So there's your wild card when you're talking about waivers. Like, Fane's not in danger to go to Vegas because they've got 12 defensemen better than he is. But, how many right wingers do they have better than Pakarinen, right? So, anyway, I think he's a bubble guy, right? He's playing back and forth.
Well, speaking of bubble guys, I was just kind of off topic, but I was watching caught a bit of the Leafs-Detroit preseason game before the Oilers game last night. And my buddy Paul, who's been on the podcast, he's a Leafs fan. And I texted him because this Josh Levo for the Leafs, heck of a player. Just all over the ice, hard working, just gritty with just a touch of skill. And I texted my buddy Paul. I said, "Who the hell is this guy? Why haven't I heard of him?" He's like, "Oh, he's like a bubble player for the Leafs." I'm like, "I wish we had a bubble player like that." No, I'm not taking anything away from Kyra and Pakarinen. I'm just saying he impressed me. But and on defense, the only real new one is that OV2. Stanton got sent down, so
yeah,
I think Ovito's still here. I haven't checked Twitter.
Yeah, he is. And then I guess the only other player that would be new around here is Who's the PTO guy?
Oh, well, then you just saw that tweet before we started recording that Stauffer tweeted that Chris Kelly would have to sign a contract by Tuesday.
Yeah, by Tuesday if he's going to be here. So, you know, in a Todd McClellan built team, it's ripe to pick up a guy like Chris Kelly because it's center depth.
Okay, well, so Stauffer works for the team.
Yep.
Why would he be sending that tweet out? I mean, is there anything that implies, that tweet? Not really.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I don't really.
Like, he's not telegraphing anything, is he?
No, I don't think so. I think he's just pointing something out. He's getting people talking about it. I mean, I think they use him to leak.
Well, do you think he puts out a tweet like that so that the others can look at, you know, social media and message boards and things and try and get a sense of, you know, should we make, you know, would there be a fan reason why we don't make this signing? Or do teams even look at that kind of stuff? I don't know.
What, like the reaction of fans?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I hope they don't. If they do, and they have any bearing to it, we're screwed as Oiler fans, because if McDavid goes the first 4 games without scoring, it's going to be get him out of here, right? So...
Who do you think you are, Jason Arnott?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, he just signs that $10.5 million contract. Like, if he doesn't start performing, people around here are going to be... They're going to be going crazy like it's their $10.5 million.
You know what, though? I think he gets more runway on that than Draisaitl does.
Oh, probably because of the Hart Trophy and all that good stuff. But it just... That comment about, like, do they care what the fans think? And I mean, in Edmonton, oh my god. I mean, like, maybe to a certain extent they do eventually, but when they start throwing jerseys on the ice and stuff like that, I think that that woke some people up, including, you know, I think that whole jersey throwing saga is what ended up pushing Kevin Lowe out of where he is, and because the owner of the team finally went, okay, they're on the verge of not spending their money anymore, right? Excuse me. So, but yeah.
Now I got 2 more things I want to...
But Shirelli doesn't, sorry, I just got to finish this.
Okay.
Shirelli don't give a crap what they say on Twitter.
Oh, I hope not.
Right? But Cates does, because Cates was able to, well, he had a major stroke of luck and then realized that the burning, sinking ship that people were still throwing money at was about to implode. And that when McDavid fell in his lap, he went, I have to make sure this is done the right way. I got to get rid of these idiots who've been driving my ship straight into that iceberg.
All right. So next thing I want to mention was Brossoit had a shutout not last night, but the game before.
Yeah. 30 shit saves.
Yeah, he looks all right.
Yeah, he's looking good. Let's get him a few more games.
Now, I think we mentioned this last podcast, but do you think he gets 20 games? I hope he does.
Yeah, I hope he does, because then that means he's doing well.
I think gives Talbot some, like, you just need to get more rest, especially if they want to go on a long playoff run. So
yeah, I think so. I mean, although Talbot, he does well playing a lot. Like I mean, even last night, I think that shorthanded goal was a little bit weak. I think he wanted that one back, but it's preseason. I'm not worried about Talbot at all.
So you're looking forward to the season?
I am. Kelly and I, that's my wife, we're going to the game on Wednesday. It'll be our first date night since Sydney was born, which will almost be 7 months. So that'll be good. Mummy will probably have a few, vodka cranberries. Should be an interesting night.
Party!
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, up in our cheap seats, the altitude will get to her and she will only need a couple. But they brought back Oiler Bucks this year, which I was really happy about, so it'll be cheap for me. We'll burn through those Oiler Bucks.
So last question. I was watching the NHL season preview show tonight, and Colby Armstrong does a segment like what the players say or something, where he text messages actual players but he doesn't name them.
Okay.
And the question tonight was, are there any, not obvious teams that you could see winning the cup? And one of the players responded with Dallas. He felt they made some moves. Another one was Columbus, said, they're tough to play against. But then three of them were like, McDavid's too good. Got to go with Edmonton. McDavid's just basically something in that. So do you think this is the year?
What do you mean? Like that they win the Stanley Cup? Oh God, I hope so.
No, but do you think that's hoping?
Well, I think it's a legitimate possibility, right? I don't think the possibility has ever been as good at the start of a season, except for and I'm talking at the start of the season. In 1990, the Oilers weren't really supposed to do anything. I think they made it into the playoffs in 7th or something. Mm-hmm. Right? So, I think you have to go back to the
90.
Well, I think even before that at the beginning
they
of
weren't supposed to win at 90 either.
No, that if you go back to at the beginning of the season, their actual possibility of doing it, you got to go back to 88 probably, right? So, I think it's a legit. Obviously the stars have to align; they always have to for any good team. They got to stay out of injury trouble. They're gonna, a lot has to happen. But at the start of the season, looking at the league, I think they're in the top 4, probably. There's probably 4 teams that are.
Yeah, if they have a relatively injury-free season, I don't see why not.
You bet. On paper, right now, the way they're starting the year, I think, I think it's a legitimate possibility. So hang on.
But you won't call it though. You seem like you're dancing around it, but I'm just not going to say it.
Well, every year, Sean, you know this.
You plan the route, yeah.
I always say 82-0, even in the depths of despair years where, they were coming out rolling a team out there and we knew it was...
Somehow Gilbert Brule was going to be the first-line center.
That's right, yeah. Oh, Gilbert, we loved you, man. We loved you. You had a rough time here, but...
You got to meet you too, yeah. Well, that would not be a big deal.
Yeah, I think you two sucks personally, but anyway.
I don't think they could have picked that up from the farting.
Yeah. No, you know what? I think they've got a good possibility. If I had $1,000 extra, I would take it to Vegas and bet it that the Oilers won the Stanley Cup. Sure.
Okay, that's pretty. Okay,
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
I want that fired up, planning the route.
It's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait. I said to somebody, I may have even mentioned this on the last podcast, but I just want it to be playoffs. Just get me to the playoff. Let's go. I got a taste of that last year, and I was like, this is nice. We should do this more often. It's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to, get in front of the TV with the friends again. And because it was funny for those 10 years, I'd watch Oiler games in my basement with the lights off and, almost ashamed to be watching it. And last year, you came over for a couple playoff games and we're hooting and hollering in the basement. And, it was fun again, right? It was fun again to be an Oiler fan. So I'm looking forward to that. Win or lose in the Stanley Cup. It'll be fun.
Well, as always, Daniel, final thoughts? Anything else you want to...
Well, I'm just, a little bit of nervous energy for Wednesday. Want them to continue the streak against Calgary going. Calgary hasn't beat us in a while. So let's keep that going. I'll have to say,
Do you think they're going to own the season series with Calgary like they did last year?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Calgary's got a hell of a defense, but you can only defend the best player in the world for so long.
Fair enough. I think it's a good place to cut off. Dan, thanks again.
Thank you, man. Always a pleasure.
Till next time.
Yeah.